I'm sitting here in the garden in a pile of sugar. I'm just sitting here in all this sugar cane. Not because I've dropped my ketogenic diet and I'm gonna start eating loads of sugar, but because this is compost for our organic garden. Whew. Make those plants grow. Alright, let's talk about making things grow. We've got 2 kids. You've probably seen our videos feature them heavily. Ariana's been a major part of a lot of the content we put out over the years and she's actually helped us write and test all the recipes in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, which is Jessica's book. Ariana's 5.5, my son Ryder's 1. We eat a ketogenic diet. They don't. They both eat keto foods. They both eat delicious high-fat foods all the time. In fact, they both eat a pretty dang high-fat diet. And they don't eat that many carbs. But we don't have them on keto. Let me tell you why. So a ketogenic diet was developed in the 1930s as a treatment for epilepsy for kids. So why don't I have my kids on ketogenic diet? Because my kids don't have epilepsy. If my kids were epileptic, they would definitely be using keto if it was a necessary part of their therapy. But some of the side effects of a ketogenic diet that were discovered in the 1920s and 30s are what make it more interesting to people now. People are interested in keto for fat loss. People are interested in it for body composition. They want their body to be healthy. They want their body to be lean. And they want to perform well. The obesity crisis in the United States and in Western countries is insane. It's crazy. The amount of processed carbohydrates, refined foods, trans fats, polyunsaturated fats in the diet is nuts. The standard American diet is obviously a failure, as you see from the modern health epidemic. The modern academic epidemic as well. But that doesn't mean that what works for me, that what works for people who are obese, who are trying to lose body fat, become insulin sensitive, will automatically translate to children who are growing. So I mentioned the ketogenic diet for epilepsy earlier. One of the side effects of keto was fat loss, low hunger, stable blood sugar, increased GABA production, improved stability neurologically. All of these benefits are awesome. All these side effects are great for people trying to lose body fat. But the one side effect that's problematic for kids is the weight loss. Right? The induced satiety, the hunger. Kids need carbs to grow. That's an opinion, of course. I'm sure there's people out there who are doing a ketogenic diet with children with epilepsy who have had normal growth curves and haven't had any developmental issues. But this was one of the major issues with the ketogenic diet back in the day, was developmental issues. They weren't getting enough calories in. The micronutrients are hard to hit without lots of vegetables and carbohydrate for kids. And the palatability of the diet and the ability for kids to maintain it long term made it difficult. So we're not concerned with pushing what works for us onto our kids. We want to help them thrive in what works for them and provide them a healthy, balanced human diet. And of course that includes lots of fats. And of course they eat all of our keto foods. We don't avoid giving our kids meats, saturated fats, cholesterol. In fact, some of my boys' favorite foods are raw egg yolks and cooked egg yolks. They eat fish, they eat meat, they drink bone broth. They eat eggs, they eat egg yolks. My daughter's obsessed she was obsessed with butter when she was little. She really likes red palm oil now. Although I'm not a big fan of mass-produced red palm oil. I've got a little source over here where we can get some good stuff. And she loves it. She loves these fatty, salty, keto-style foods. Kids need proteins, kids need fats. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2. These are all foods that are found in abundance in animal products and animal foods. So we feed our children basically an ancestral style diet, more of a paleo type diet. We don't give them grains, we don't give them wheat. We avoid processed foods, white sugar, stuff like that, the basics. We feed them a nutrient dense whole foods diet. They love eating foods like spirulina with yogurt and honey. Raw, organic, grass-fed rather yogurt. Type A2 cheese. Raw cheese. All these foods they eat in abundance. And they also eat more carbohydrates than we eat. So they'll eat carrots, beets. They even eat more potatoes and starches. Whereas we keep the keto foods for us. We prepare keto foods and we add some sides of carbs for the kids. We carbify them for the babies. Our daughter loves strawberries and berries. So a lot of these keto foods, these keto desserts are really applicable to her. She was a big part in writing the upcoming book that Jessica made, The Ultimate Guide to Low Carb Baking. All these are kid-approved, kid-tested recipes. But we're not about pushing what works on us onto our children. We're not about projecting that onto our kids. We're about trying to give them a healthy, happy, organic diet. A diet full of whole, nutritious foods. Unrefined, unprocessed foods that aren't going to create insulin resistance and loads of inflammation. That aren't going to ruin their gut with glyphosate exposure. That aren't going to contribute to economic, social, and political situations that we don't want to support. So we don't support big companies like Monsanto, like Kraft. We don't buy the high fructose corn syrup and foods like this. You know what? Our daughter did have a piece of cake a couple weeks ago at a party. It was last week, I think. And it had wheat in it. Oh no. Every once in a while they eat these foods. We don't keep them in our house. We don't try to shelter them from everything in the world. We're honest with our kids. We talk to them about it. And we try to give them a healthy outlook on diet. Because we know a lot of people out there trying to get healthy, coming from a place of sometimes desperation, sometimes illness, sometimes a lot of pain. Not only physically, but emotionally, psychologically as well. A lot of people trying to fix their lives and fix their bodies. When we do these things, we become hyper-focused and obsessive over them. And this can transfer into our kids, and we don't want to transfer any stress to our kids about diet. We provide them with the foods they love. We provide them with this beautiful garden to play in. Understand where the food comes from. We grow organic food in our organic soil. And we keep those carbs in context in our life. And we keep the diet in context in our lives and in our kids' lives. So, we eat a ketogenic diet, and we love it. Our kids eat keto foods, they love it. But they eat more carbs than us, and we love it. Nothing wrong with carbs, it's all about context, guys. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. Check out the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. This is Jessica's book that she spent over 1.5 years on. Ariana was a major part of making this book. All the recipes are tested on our kids. They're all nutrient-dense, whole foods, unrefined, not food porn recipes. It's the basics. That's why we call it a training manual. Because we intended it as a training manual for clients of ours. We wanted to provide people with the information we wanted when we started keto. With the information on keto food prep, the skills for preparing nutrient-dense, whole foods recipes based on proteins, fats, and vegetables. It's not so complicated. Keep it simple, people. And go enjoy your life. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. Bye-bye.
I'll be waiting, give the song love. And all this time that passed me by, it doesn't seem to matter.